Welcome back to Coffee Talk, everybody. Now, Josiah was a great conversation, but I took it as a learning experience. I realized that we talk way too much. So my whole goal for this is I want to kind of condense it down. So Coffee Talk is going to be a 15-minute experience. I'm here in Jason Phillips' humble abode. I don't need to calculate time, Chase. You need to do a timer. All right, so stopwatch, timer, 15 minutes on the clock. Now, what you can do is, if you want to learn a lot more about Jason, we're going to dive deep into who he is, what he does, IN3, and all the above into the full-length podcast episode. But today is just bullshit time. Just So first of all, I'm introducing Compass Nitro to Jason.
I've never had it.
Bro.
Cheers, brother.
I want your experience. It's liquid gold.
You're right. It is. And from the anti-coffee snob, you win. So people don't know this about me. I have a 5-year running streak.
That's right.
This summer.
Is perfect, yeah.
This summer we will be 6 years that I have gone to Starbucks every single day. Not even kidding you. Ordered the same drink every single day.
Do you just walk in now and they know automatically? Or
oh yeah, here? Yeah, so I get my wife and I coffee every morning. Yeah. Our coffee here locally is inside Harris Teeter, so it's inside the grocery store.
Oh, that's right, yeah. I used to go to the one in, not one Loudon, but the one over by the Harris Teeter and like the CVS.
Yeah, right over there by like Home Goods and shit.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I just go to the grocery store one. I'm there first thing in the morning. I walk in and they're like, "Do you want yours or yours and your wife's?" That's the only question they ask me. And so, and then like if our daughter is with us, they're like, "Oh, does she want a hot chocolate?" Like they know that. So. I don't ever have to order. Like if I'm on the phone at 6 in the morning when I'm like rolling out of bed getting coffee, that like I don't even have to talk because I'm literally on the call. I'm like, here's my app, just scan it, dude. It's so good. And like even when I'm on vacation places, like we went to the Bahamas last year for a week, and Atlantis has a Starbucks. By the end of the week, they knew me.
No shit.
Yeah, dude. Everywhere we go, because I mean it's a unique order. It's like it's like an Americano with an extra shot and some Splenda. So it's like it's really simple, right? Yeah. So. Man, I don't know what it is. It's routine though. Everyone's like, man, you must really love your coffee. And I'm like, honestly, I could probably get a decaf. Yeah. And like, I'm so conditioned to getting out of bed, having that flavor first. Yeah. And it sets my mind. So I have to drive 7 to 8 minutes to get my coffee, and I get 7 to 8 minutes back. I either listen to a podcast, or I just like clear my head and think about what I need to do that day. Like what the important things are. Like I take some time, like I'm grateful, like I do like a little gratitude exercise. But man, like the minute I walk in the house, I take the dog out, I get the kids up, it's like the day is moving. There's no more fatigue, like there's no fog. I'm ready to go crush it. And there's something about a morning routine, man. Like it totally works.
It's ritual. It's something I talk about all the time. You know, absolutely. I put up my hashtag ritual and so many different things. But yeah, honestly, I'm kind of the same way. Like, getting stemmed out is really cool. Like caffeine is really cool.
It doesn't suck.
But you know, honestly, I don't know if you know, but like, we grew up in kind of the coffee house business. So
I did not know that.
Yeah, our dad, when he got out of the army, he had like a couple jobs here and there, but then he transitioned into entrepreneurship. Right. Opened up his first coffee house. That turned into I think 4 or 5 coffee houses. We had a high-end steakhouse. Nice. So I've been drinking, making,
that's amazing,
cleaning coffee since I was like 12 years old.
I didn't know that. That's awesome.
So I mean, you cut me open, I bleed coffee. But yeah, I mean, I love like the caffeination is amazing, but the taste, I just love it.
I literally could drink coffee all day long. Like I do love the taste, but I think that my quote unquote Starbucks addiction is more about lifestyle than it is about the coffee or the caffeination. Like, and I'm like, I could easily do decaf. Yeah. Like it wouldn't do anything differently. It's just the action of taking that steps, and especially in the summer, like when it's super nice out. Like we were just talking about like California. Like man, being able, like every time we stay at like a hotel with an ocean view, it's like getting up, having a coffee, sitting on the balcony while the whole family's sleeping, and like, dude, I wrote our whole certification last summer from a hotel balcony in California.
No way.
We were there for 3 weeks, and I would say 70% of the cert got written in those 3 weeks, where I would wake up, you know, my family doesn't want to wake up till 9:30, 10. I'd get up at 5, I'd go get my coffee. 4 hours, direct content, ocean view, like life is good.
Damn.
And like the ideas flowed, the content was there, and it put me in an amazing frame of mind to like where I could come home, I could get up, and I could almost like replicate it, right? I would just chill on the couch, family would sleep until 10 and knock it out. And honestly, that was so impactful in our business, because it's how we're paying it forward. It's how we're educating people. And I'm like, man, like it all started with coffee and a view. Like it's that impactful in my life.
That's the great thing about coffee. I think it's such a great staple into like majority of the world's like, ritual. And that's another thing I love about rituals, you know, having a staple that you can take anywhere in life. So whether you're home, whether you're away, having something that you can go to that you know is going to put you on track to set the tone for the day.
1,000,000%.
I dare you to go anywhere in the world and not find a coffee house. I mean, some places
I've seen some unique ones. Like, have you been to Iceland?
No, okay. Soon, very soon.
So when you go ask for a large coffee in Iceland, you get one like this big. Like, not even kidding you.
Stop.
So I get an iced venti Americano.
You're playing with my emotions.
No matter how cold it is, I will get an iced coffee. Like I like cold coffee, right?
Cold roll around.
And so I go to Iceland and I'm like, can I have like a large iced Americano?
Yeah.
And they're like, they kind of looked at me like, weird, and I'm like, a large Americano, and they're like, okay, gotcha. And they give me one.
Oh, with like, a large Americano. Look at this American. Which that's not how Icelanders speak. I don't know why I just said it.
No, they don't even fucking speak our language, most of them, to be honest. But it was like this big, right? Yeah. And I'm like, how many shots are in there? Because, you know, we're used to like 4 shots here, right? Like 2. And I'm like, can I have 2 more shots?
Weak sauce.
And they were like, they poured me a whole nother one. So every morning while I was in Iceland, I was having 2 cups of coffee.
They wouldn't just like give you one?
Because they didn't have anything big enough, and I'm like, 4 shots and that little bit. I'm like, like that's not, like that's killing my experience. Because I like to nurse it for a little while.
Yeah.
Like I like to sip on it. I like the experience of drinking it. Like it takes me like an hour to like really.
Because you're not just coffee. Like downing it.
No, like I'm not. Yeah, it's not for the coffee. Like we just talked about. It's just the experience. It's like the, you know, it's adding to my morning.
You know, fun fact. You know where Americano came from? The term.
No.
All right. Fun fact. So, I think it was World War I or World War II was when the troops were over in Europe. They like couldn't handle European coffee. It was like they couldn't handle espresso.
Oh shit!
So like, you know, we're weak, pathetic Americans. So like they started making these diluted coffee drinks for people. They would take an espresso and, you know, put water. Americano is, you know, a couple shots of espresso, hot water, boom, you got your Americano. So they started just diluting espresso for the U.S. soldiers, and they called it an Americano.
I did not know that.
Because they were giving it to us puny, weak Americans.
I did not know that.
If you're fighting in World War II, or any war for that matter, you drink whatever the hell you want.
Okay? We're not going to complain. Not at all.
But yeah, fun fact about America.
That's crazy. I did not know that.
Absolutely.
That's what I drink every day. Now I know. Now I know where to attribute it to.
Team cold brew all around. You said you're iced
Americano. Yep.
What is it about? So we got the ritual down. We got the same substance we're consuming no matter where we are to set the tone for the day.
Yep.
What would happen, do you think, if you deviated? What if someone gave you, hey, we are all out of ice, we can only give you a hot drink? Would that mess up the ritual?
Okay, so I wonder, and I've contemplated this before. Like, number one, no bullshit. I would drive to the next Starbucks.
I'm out.
So like Harris Teeter, one morning, someone like didn't show up, and I go at like 6 in the morning because I got to get my kids up at 6:30, and like they didn't show up. It wasn't open. I like drove to the next Starbucks. Not kidding you. Thanksgiving Day. So you know this area, and you'll know how far this is. I woke up on Thanksgiving and I drove to 3 different Starbucks, all closed.
Oh my God.
I'm like, are you kidding me? So I know the one that's open is in Greenbrier, like over in Chantilly.
Oh my God,
I drove to Greenbrier, got my coffee, and drove home. My wife's like, why were you going for an hour getting coffee? I'm like, oh, you know, fun fact, I just had to drive 30 minutes to get it. I'm like, but it's that important to me. So
what's the difference between like going to get it? I mean, you can get a Starbucks, you can buy the home package at home. Like, what is it even so specific about the ritual?
It's the experience, I think, of getting up, leaving the house, forcing myself to get moving, right? Like, I don't think it would be the same if like I rolled over in bed and somebody brought me coffee. I'd be like, I don't think I would be as mentally clear. I think that like those 20 minutes alone moving, and like there's definitely some science to it, right? Like we were talking with a mutual friend, Bedros, and like we talk all the time about like he has his salespeople walk while they're on the phone. So like he buys them iPhones and he sends them outside and he's like, I want you walking while you're on sales calls. So like there's bilateral stimulation of the brain, right, which gets things moving. So I think there's some sort of bilateral stimulation of me getting up, moving. I love the interaction, dude. I love seeing the person at Starbucks and being like, good morning, like I've got to be like just like the loudest, like nicest person that like comes in, and I'm always like the loudest person in the room anyway. It's just who I am. But like I always want their day to be like better because I came in, and so I think there's something about that sets the tone. But I've always wondered, like, is it the drink or is it just the experience? So like,
true, yeah.
I don't know, because I feel like, let's just arbitrarily say they didn't have espresso and I had to settle for something else. Like, would I be so upset that I didn't have my drink that was what impacted my day, or would it be like the drink? Like, and I think it's like placebo effect, so I don't know.
I have this idea of like, because I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
I love going to coffee shops, and Compass Coffee here in DC, what we're drinking right now. I go to either one of two pretty much all the time, and I love going. I love talking to people. I love engaging. Also, it's a little, sentimental for me. Like I said, our family, we're in the coffee house business, so like, I've been on both sides of the counter, literally. But we should do an experiment. What if one day we just go to our coffee shop of choice, stand in line, and then not order anything, and then leave? So is it the experience?
Or like, we have to have something different.
Because they know now. I walk in, and like, my order here is I get a large red eye nitro, which is nitro cold brew with the double shot espresso. And they make this homemade, like, vanilla, all their simple syrups, so they make in-house. So I get half diabetes. I get half the syrup because I love coffee. I love the bitter taste, but the vanilla syrup is so good.
Yeah, but, that's got to be good.
So I wonder, if I just totally changed it up, would that throw me off? If you got a different order?
I think if it was good, it'd be golden. Like, if you like changed it and you're like, man, that's good, like, you'd be golden. If you changed it and you're like, it might not be as good. Or, to be fair, dude, like, we're so addicted, we would just go back and be like, let's get our real fucking drink. like give me the diabetes.
We did the test, let's go across the street to the other one. We'll
give me my diabetes back. We're good. So,
have you ever had like a bad cup of coffee?
I mean, Iceland was not good.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
okay, Iceland was not very good. Scotland, so there's no Starbucks there where I stayed.
Really?
That was, and I stayed in
the world where there's no Starbucks.
There wasn't in Iceland either.
Oh shit.
Yeah, but wherever we stayed in Scotland, I forget where it was. It wasn't bad. Like, they did a nice Americano that was great. No, not really, man. Like, it's pretty. Like, I'm so simple. Like, and that's why I'm like, I want. And that's the thing. I think I'm the anti-coffee snob. People come to me like, so. When I lived in Scottsdale, there's all these like really high-end like coffee shops. Like, everyone's like, you gotta go to Press, or you gotta go to this one, and I'm like, okay. And like, we go, and I'm like, it's not that good. And they're like, you're fucking nuts. Like, you love Starbucks, but you don't like that shit. And I'm like, like, didn't do it for me. And so I think I'm like the anti-coffee snob, because they know the good shit. I just know like what I'm used to. And again, I just think it's experience, man. Like, I don't fucking care if it's great. Like. And I'm a simple dude, like, I don't need that many luxuries. As we were just talking about, I have like the fucking car sitting in the garage that I haven't touched. Like, but nah, man. I mean, like, when it comes to coffee, it's as we're talking, this is an enlightening talk for me, because it 100% is an experience to me, dude. Like, I can factually say that.
I can tell you, I've definitely had some bad coffee, and like, I guess we're kind of proving our point that it is so much about the experience and the ritual that. Like, I'll go to like a diner or something for breakfast, and like, I know odds are this has been like burnt coffee sitting on the warmer for hours, but I get it anyway, and like, I'll take a sip or two, I'm like, this is shit, but,
and you'll drink it anyway.
Yeah, I'll sip on it, or like, it's just the experience. If my wife was here, she would totally say the same thing, like, this is such a chase place, or this is such a chase experience, because like, I want to go to a diner, I want to go to a restaurant, I want to go to breakfast, I want to get my cup of coffee, I want to have my morning routine.
That's it.
And even if I don't drink it, even if it is shit water, it'll just sit there, I'll hold it.
Oh, dude, there's like,
I'll caress it.
Like, and I mean, I'll get flamed for this, like, but I like a Coke Zero every now and then, like, with my dinner.
Oh, yeah, that's another.
And so like,
cherry Coke Zero is amazing, by the way.
I've heard. Yeah, I've heard good things. So like, there's times where like, I don't even need a Coke, but like, it's so habitual that I'll go to Chipotle, and if it's at night, if it's during the day, I don't need Coke Zero, but if it's at night, I need Coke Zero. I don't know why.
Interesting.
But like, I'll get a Coke Zero, take 2 sips, and throw the rest away.
So you just need like that little.
I just need like it has to be present like in like my consumption of this burrito. I don't know. Like, I think that, and I love the use of the word ritual, because everybody has them. To be fair, a lot of people that are watching this that need self-improvement should probably look at the rituals that are destructive and be like, that's actually what's fucking me up, right? Or the ones that are like, man, that actually gets me to go out and take action. And if I don't get my morning like movement and get to coffee, and like there was one morning I overslept, I had to take the kids to school first and didn't get my coffee, I was probably more of a dick. Like, I definitely was more of a dick.
Dad, you're an angry elf.
They're like, Dad, get your coffee. Like, we don't ever want you uncaffeinated again. So I don't know. I just think there's something about it, man. Like, and there's definitely things like that throughout my day. I mean, we train in the morning, and I definitely have better days when I train in the morning versus when I train in the afternoon for whatever reason. Although I just heard a really fascinating study Sean Stevenson cited.
Fun fact. Anything from Sean, send it my way.
Yeah, fun fact. Like, the quality of sleep on people that train at 7 a.m. versus any other time of the day. And this had, like, he didn't say if it was fed or fasted, but 7 a.m. first thing in the morning versus any other time of the day, the quality of their sleep was something like 20% better.
Really?
Yeah, and like, it was statistically significant in the study. So,
which is like, huge if you know anything about studies.
Huge in like a scientifically studied. Yeah. So it was. I was fascinated by it, and then I started like going back, and I'm like, man, the times I've had the best sleep in my life, I definitely train first thing in the morning. So now, like, we train first thing fasted. I get up, take the kids to school, have my caffeine, have some BCAAs, go to the gym, and like, now I'm like convinced I'm never training again in the afternoon. Like, we're always gonna fucking train in the morning because sleep is such a big part of my life, man.
Oh, and my hierarchy is sleep. I sleep and then everything else.
Remember when we were like early 20s and we never would have said that? Like
what sleep?
Yeah, I literally, there was a time in my life where I would have been like the whole like Eric Thomas, like team no sleep, and like, for a long time, like, this is, I can't believe I'm outing myself. Like when I first heard his stuff, dude, 100%. Like, I was a fucking idiot, guaranteed. When I first heard his content, I'm like, well, the rich people, they get up at 3:30 in the morning. Okay, I'm gonna get up at 3:30 in the morning. And I was like living in my parents' house, and I was getting up at 3:30 in the morning.
And doing what?
And I would go to the living room and fucking put a blanket on and fall back asleep. And I was like, but yo, I was up at 3:30 in the morning. I'm grinding. Like,
I took a picture, and posted it to prove
stupid. It. Yeah, like Jocko Willink, like, what is it, 4:30 in the morning? I took a picture. I'm like, that dude actually goes out and crushes it. Like, I was just like fucking stupid. So I'm like, yeah, like these days, and my, like, thank God for my wife. Like, God bless her. Like, she knows when I'm tired. My alarm will go off at like 5 on like a Saturday or Sunday, and she'll look at me and be like, no, go back to bed.
Nice.
And she'll be like, no, you need to sleep till like 8 or 9. And before I met her, I never would have. I'd have been like, nope, I need to suffer. I need to, like, I just need to get up and get it done. And she's like, no, like, you're so much better when you actually sleep.
My wife's the same way, except it's more selfish because if I get up, odds are I'm going to make noise and wake her up. So she's like, no, stay in bed.
Oh, dude, my wife can sleep through a fucking hurricane.
Oh, yeah,
so absolutely. I was like, no, it's definitely not selfish for her, but like, props to her for making me realize that I need to do a little bit of self-love.
Good shit, man. Well, Jason, thanks for thanks for joining us on Coffee Talk.
Absolutely, brother. I appreciate it.
I love this new format. We're going to keep it short. We're going to keep it coffee centric, if that's even a word.
I like it.
But just bullshitting over coffee. That's what
everybody does. That's what the world does.
We're like normal human beings.
Imagine that. We're just on a fucking camera.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next episode.